Hello, this is Melissa York, and I am going to read a story today. I have a few friends with me. I have Malia. That's my Malia. I've got Colton, and I've got Chloe, and my birthday buddy, Carly. They are going to help me today. I'm going to read Ant Cities. It's written and illustrated by Arthur Doris. Ant cities. Have you ever seen ants busy running over a dirt hill? They may look like they are just running around, but the ants built that hill to live in, and each has a job to do. Some ants may disappear into a small hole in the hill. The hole is the door to their nest. These are harvester ants. Their nest is made of lots of rooms and tunnels. These little insects made them all. It's kind of cool. Look how deep this goes. It's like a big hotel with lots of rooms. When it is sunny, the top of the nest gets warm. When it rains, water runs off of the hills. In winter, the ants hibernate in a deep room away from the cold. They stay warm in a ball to keep warm. It's like bears. When it gets cold, they hibernate. They go to a place where they can stay warm. Do you have a question?
I just wanted to say that that's like a city.
It's like a city. That's really good. Underneath the hill, there may be miles of tunnels and hundreds of rooms. The floors are worn smooth by thousands of ant feet. It is dark inside the nest, but the ants, well, they stay cozy. In the rooms of the nest, worker ants do many different kinds of work. It is like a city, a busy city of ants. Some ants have brought in food to the ant city. These harvester ants like seeds. A worker ant cracks the husk off the seeds. Another worker will take the husk outside to throw away. The ants chew the seeds to get the juices out. Then they feed the juices to other ants for sharing. Other workers store seeds for the ants to eat another time. Not all ants store food, but harvester ants do. Sounds like they have lots of different jobs or chores, like you have chores at home. In one of the rooms of the nest, a queen ant lays eggs. Workers carry the eggs away to the other rooms to take care of them. Each ant city has to have at least one queen egg, one queen. Without a queen, there would be no ant city. All the other ants in the city grow from the eggs that the queen lays. So it's like the big mama ant. She lays all of them. At first, the tiny eggs grow into larvae. The worker ants feed the larvae and lick them clean so they will grow well. The larvae grow into pupa. The workers keep grooming the pupa until they grow into adults. So they're like babies. Like they're the mommies and daddies taking care of the babies until they can grow up and then they can work. The queen ant lays thousands and thousands of eggs. It's a lot of babies. Most of the eggs grow into worker ants. There may be only one queen ant in an ant city, but there may be thousands of workers. So how many queen ants are there? One. And how many workers? There can be thousands. You can answer verbally. You can speak out and ask a question. So here's a good picture here. We've got a queen ant. And then we've got the workers. We've got the new queen. And we've got the male. So the queen ant, she is usually bigger than all the other ants. She lays eggs that grow into either workers. The workers are all females. Females means it's a girl. They do the work in the ant city. They will also fight to protect the nest. Then you've got the new queen ants. So you see the queen ant and the new queen ant. Do you see a difference? What's the difference, Colton?
Because the queen ant doesn't have like wings and the new queen ant has wings.
Yes, good. Then the males. There's not much to say about the males. They don't live in the nest for very long. They fly away and they make the queens have more ants. And then they die. That's it. So this page, look at this. This is very important. You see this page? We're going to talk about the different kinds of jobs, yes?
How does an ant have so much time to make that much rooms?
Well, that's all they do. That's their only job. That's a good question now. That's how they live. They don't live like people do. This is their jobs. So we have the queen ants, and the males flying off. So they're flying off here so that they can make some more ants. And then we've got the ants that collect seeds and they get stuff from insects so that they can bring back into their ant city. We have workers with the larvae, workers with the pupa. You've got them bringing in the food. You've got them carrying the eggs to the nurseries. You've got the queen workers and the workers. You know what? Just like God says we got to do on our 7th day, they rest. They got a little resting room. And they've got their winter room. They go when it's cold to hibernate. They hide and hibernate. That's good. They dig new tunnels. Remember, it's got to start somewhere, and then they get more and more and more and more, and then they're making new tunnels. Remember, they share their food, and then if they have leftovers, they store their food. They got to have a place to put it, kind of like you have a pantry or refrigerator. It's just another room. They've got to husk the seeds, and when they're done husking, you got a group of ants that throw them back outside. The queens don't tell the workers what to do, but the workers are busy. It's just like they already know what to do. Each ant has work to do. Each ant has a purpose, just like me and you. Ants work together to keep the whole ant city alive. Workers make the nest bigger by digging new rooms for tunnels. They use their feet to dig like tiny dogs. Workers pick up pieces of dirt in their jaws and beards, and they carry them outside. Harvester ants' hills can be 2 feet high and 6 feet across. Many other ants build smaller hills. Look how big that is. That's a pretty big ant hill. Dirt from digging is what makes the ant hill. Ants are great diggers and builders. Imagine all the tiny pieces of dirt it takes to build a hill 2 feet high. It's like a foot, 2 feet, 6 feet long. That's a big ant hill. I don't want to step in that. Out around the harvester ant hill, workers look for food. Harvester ants mostly eat seeds, but sometimes they eat insects too. Ants can bite and sting other insects to capture them or to protect themselves. Like I said, you do not want to step in these ant hills. They think you're going to take their food or hurt them, so they might hurt you back to protect them. That's why we get little ant bites. They sting, don't they? So be careful because some kinds of ants can bite or sting you too. Harvester ants will bite or sting if you disturb their nest. Ants use their antennas to help them find food. They touch and smell with their antennas. That's what's on top of their heads. That's their antennas. That helps them to see and to feel.
Without those, they couldn't see or feel.
Yeah.
How come that one right there does not have any? It looks like it doesn't.
Okay, so his head's down. That's a really good question. His antennas. He's cleaning his antennas in this picture. And did you know ants talk to each other by using their antennas? It kind of looks like they're fighting, but they're not. That's how they communicate.
Yeah, kind of like bullfighting.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ants are strong. If one ant finds food, others they follow. Soon there will be a lot of ants helping to carry away their lunch. If one ant can't carry something, others may help. But did you know each worker ant is very strong? An ant can lift up as much as 50 times its own weight. And listen, it's like if we were able to do that, if people could do that, we could lift up a car. So as much as what an ant can carry, it's like as we could lift a car up. So they're pretty strong for their size, aren't they?
Yeah.
These worker ants, they carry the food back to the ant city and they share the food that they find. Nice. It's nice to share. They all work together. Ants eat many foods, but different kinds of ants like different foods. There are over 10,000 kind of ants. That's a lot. Here's a few. We have formica ants. They mostly eat the juices that they suck from insects that they kill. There's cornfield ants. They like to eat the sweet juices or honeydew, which we can call it too, that they get from other plants.
I was going to say corn.
Then the ants milk for honeydew. And then there's carpenter ants. They especially like sweet juices they get from other insects and from plants too. Thief ants, which I thought they were called sugar ants. It sounds like sugar ants to me. They eat sweets and other foods they find in people's houses and lying around. Leaf cutting ants make underground gardens with leaves they cut. They grow mushrooms in the gardens for food. Does anybody here like mushrooms? Me neither. And then there's army ants. What do you think army ants might do? Colton?
They do stuff like in the army, like attack you.
They maybe attack people? Let's see. Army ants travel in large groups just like in armies. They devour a huge number of insects, including termites. And that's a good thing because termites like to eat wood in people's houses.
They do attack.
They do attack. That's pretty good. I like how they named that because it relates to the army. The different kinds of ants have found many ways to make their cities so they can live in many kinds of places. Janitor ants make their nest in hollowed out tree twigs. The soldier janitor ant, which is a kind of worker ant, has a big plug-shaped head it can use for a door. It's like a doorway. Many kinds of ants make hills or mounds. If you haven't seen harvester ant hills, maybe you've seen the round-topped hills that formica ants make. Sometimes they cover their hills with thatch. So here's the hill. You ever walked on a sidewalk before? You know, sorry, it's hard. It's made out of pavement. That's what it's called. Hang on. Pavement ants are tiny ants. They're about 1/8 of an inch long. It's like smaller than the width of my finger. Harvester ants are about 1/4 inch long. That's not much bigger. Some ants are as big as 2 inches long. That's almost as long as my finger. Let's see. Or you may have seen pavement ants. They can live under the sidewalk. Remember sidewalks?
They can live
Pavement or your road.
That's how strong they are to put a rope, put a hole in the sidewalk just to live.
Usually there's cracks in the sidewalk and they kind of go down in those cracks.
But sometimes they break it somehow.
I think they just squeeze in through, but they are very strong. There's also carpenter ants who build their nest in rotting wood. So if you see an old tree branch on the ground and you lift it up, you might see ants underneath. Or if you've seen The Lion King, where do they get their grub? From those tree branches on the ground, huh? That's where they like to go, in that rotting wood. It's kind of falling apart. Sometimes you'll pick it up and it'll break. It's because it's rotted. There are small ant cities with just a few ants, and there are big ant cities with many, many ants. Ants have been found at the tops of the highest buildings and on ships at sea. Ants can make their cities almost anywhere. Look around and you will probably find an ant city with busy ants. All right, so I have a little assignment for you guys. Remember this page here where we talked about the different types of jobs that the ants had. They have different rooms too. And sometimes they have to make more rooms. They have places where they have to husk food. They got to carry out the food. They got to bring in the food. They've got to share the food, where they're going to eat the food. Those are like different types of jobs. So Malia and Colton, I'm going to have you guys use our description charts. In the middle, I want you to write types of jobs for ants. Or you can word it how you want to. Something like that in the middle, because we're going to talk about what? The jobs. You're going to put a job in each one. You might put husking in one. You can look on this page, or you can look throughout the book and see what other types of jobs they have. Each of these bubbles need to be filled. Another thing we have for Carly and Chloe, we have the different types of ants. Do you remember how many types of ants there are? Over 10,000 types of ants. Well, we don't have 10,000 bubbles, do we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6. So types of ants are going to go in the middle for yours. And then you're going to put a description of a type of ant in each of the bubbles. You each get one page to do together, and you get to turn them in together, and then we can talk about that, okay? Thank you guys for helping me today.
Welcome.